You had your supercar out one day, a dad saw it, he's with his small son, and the dad said to the son, mate, this is the closest you'll ever get to it, enjoy it. And he said, no, like, don't ever talk to your kids that way. You lost everything at 30.
Yeah.
And you come back for more. How much glass can you eat?
You would have to cut my fucking hands off, my legs off, and probably my head off for me to start fucking punching. And any person to bring the best out of themselves with whatever they want to do, they need to understand the value of this life.
What would you say there's one attribute that you just go, this is what you've seen high performers in your team, in your circle, in One Life Club, people that you hang around with. This is probably the one thing that separates the top 0.001%ers in this industry or this world from those that say they want it, but talk is cheap.
Discipline.
Emil Juresic, mate, I want to say thank you so much for being here, jumping on the Australian Property Investment Podcast. Mate, I'm not sure if you realise, it's almost a year to the day that I came to your house for dinner with Christie-David and Reedham. So you opened the door. Mate, this is it. You won't even realise, but it's a year nearly to the day.
Wow.
And
good dinner too. It was
fantastic.
amazing food. And good company.
And I told everyone, because mate, here's what happened. You opened your door, probably to what, a $30 million house?
25.
I mean, here's the thing, the market's gone up anyway, right? So
maybe more.
You round up.
Right.
And there was a warmth and a hospitality. And when you took us around to showcase your home, there was no ego, there was no flex. And what I got out of that, there's two things. One is you can't be what you can't see. So to me, to see someone that had it, I was like, this is possible. Anything is possible. But the next thing that came to me was the word potential. And when I see, and I've listened to all your stuff, and when I see what you do, I think what you pass on to people is this potential that people can have if they just chase it and they go after it. I'm just curious, man, like where does this, there's so much to get into it with you, bro.
Well, first of all, I want to say, when I invite somebody to my home, it's very special, right? And one thing I've learned from my mom and dad, you only invite people to your home that you want them to be there. And if they're friends of friends of friends, you know, when they come to your home, you got to treat them with respect, with love. And I remember when I was very little and we were so poor, and every time somebody comes to mom and dad's house, they would bring everything they had from their fridge on the table to welcome people into your home, treat guests like family. And I still like to continue with that mentality when people come to my home. You know, you don't just invite strangers that you don't respect or like, you know, I didn't know you, but I knew your friend very well. And so when you welcome people to your home, and you gotta welcome them with your both arms, you know what I mean? Second, ego. I don't believe in that. I am still the young guy who came to Australia with nothing, who worked on construction sites 7 days a week till I, you know, bought a first block of land, built one house and sold it for profit. And, you know, 27 years later, I'm still working all the time. And I'm no better to anybody. I'm no better to you. Two of us are no better to my receptionist or I don't know, Harry Chigubal of Millionaire or anybody else. We are all equal as humans. Some of us, if we are financially more successful, doesn't make us better people, doesn't make us smarter people. We are just good at what we does, but so is the nurse. Nurse that is working, that is saving lives. She's a freaking hero. You know what I mean? She should have a big ego because she saves life. What the fuck do we do? You know what I mean? All we do is just be good at what we do. So what? That doesn't mean you have to be an asshole. There's too many of them in this world, and there's no room for not. Well, there's plenty of room for more, but we don't need another two. You and I.
That type of abundance mindset, like where does that come from? Because when you think about, and it's not a win-lose game when you get money and people like. I think this mentality of you've succeeded in life and it's come at someone's loss or expense, right? Yes. Like the pie's got so much bigger. You look at your office and the team that come on the journey with you as well. So this notion of an abundance mindset, I sit around some incredible people. I'm like, where does that come from? That you can then shape other people to go, man, you can think bigger, you can act bigger and play a better game.
Look, we all have different gifts. We all chase different things in life, and we all get rewarded in a different ways, right? I have chosen and continued something that I love, that I'm passionate about, and something that completes me, and that is business. I love entrepreneurial life. Life. I love the game. I love fucking winning. I love creating. I love making progress. But I have found that very early, in my life, and doubled down every single day on what completes me as a human. I just love the game. I don't chase the money. I don't chase the cars or big house. Naturally, you get rewarded, and then you buy whatever the fuck you want to buy. But again, everything comes down to, what are you chasing? What I'm chasing is internal happiness. And my internal happiness is, I love fucking business. I love creating things. I love building things. I love, working with amazing people, with young people and older people. I love that. But that's internally, that completes me, right? Now, I will never forget, about 2 years ago, a few of us, we went to Melbourne F1, and 6 o'clock in the morning, we were getting out of the building to go to one wellness place before we go to the race. 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm just getting out of the hotel, and in Crown Hotel in Melbourne, and the gentleman was at the door, doorman, the one that opens the door for you, opens the car door. So, good morning, buddy. The way he said good morning to me, how happy that guy was. I was like, I fucking want to be you. I don't want to be me. I want to be you. He was so happy that, when you can feel pure happiness within somebody. I was like, fuck my life, and I'm happy. I want to be you. So that guy, he found whatever completes him, and he's like, if he was doing what I was doing, he would be probably miserable as fuck. Whatever he's doing, it completes him. So I think the problem with humanity, we as humans chase wrong things in life. You know what I mean? Because when you chase something, it's like, I want to be successful, but I hate working. And my question would be like, okay, so you want to be miserable as fuck for 25 years. So one day when you have money, you can be happy. Like, no. So what about if you chase something for 25 years and the day that you be super successful, you fucking die? You wasted 25 years of your life. You gotta, I understand you always want to chase the better version of you, which I get that part. But at the end of the day, man, it's internal happiness. And the key is to find internal happiness for you. You know what I mean? And unfortunately on social media, people see somebody else being happy, doing whatever they do. It was like, oh man, what do you do? I want to do that. It's like, no, you want to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? You got to find that something that gives you fucking that fire in your belly to get up every morning and treat Monday like Friday. You know how people on Friday say, oh, thanks, fuck, it's Friday, I'm going home. I was like, no, how the fuck can you be excited on Monday and be like, I'm so excited, it's Monday and I'm going to work. Most people don't do that. They don't do that. And with me, always, all people, if I want to employ somebody, which is going to be interesting, what the fuck we're going to be employing in the future as humans with AI. The way I see it, if I'm interviewing somebody and I said to them, what's the point of you being here? Are you here just to make a living, make $1? Or you actually love what you're doing and you want to work for me? And then I said, okay, do you have a life plan? Not business plan or career plan, life plan. And how can we fit your work into it? So let's look at it 5 years. What's important to you? My family, great. 2, what's important? My career, great. I want to also have work-life balance, great. I also want to be worth $100 million in 5 years, great. Well, let's look at it this way. You want to spend time with your family, very important for all of us humans. Otherwise, there's no purpose in life if I'm a massive on family life. 2, you want to be worth $100 million. And 3, you want to have a work-life balance in one way. Well, for you to achieve what you just told me, there's a sacrifice. Yeah. And that sacrifice is, there's no Saturday and Sunday free. So forget about your work-life balance. Something needs to go. Family, you can still spend time with them, maybe after work or before work. But to achieve whatever you plan, we gotta create a plan how to get there. and what needs to be done together. So I'm a massive believer, and then I'm fucking drilling it into people. Hey, let's make it clear. In 24 hours a day, 80% of your work is, or 80% of your day during the day is about work.
Yeah.
Because when you're sleeping, you're dead. But while you're awake, you get in the morning, you got up, you get ready to go to work.
Correct.
Then you spend, how far do you live from your work?
It's a 5-minute commute. I'm
5. What about the two ladies behind you?
They're pretty much 10, 20 minutes sometimes.
Well, most people will be
I know, we're
5
lucky.
to 40 minutes
Correct.
drive every day one way.
Yeah.
So then in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, you don't just wake up in the morning and it's like, what, I'm going to go to the beach for 6 hours. No, most people wake up in the morning, they're getting ready to go to work.
Correct.
Then they spend half an hour driving from home to work. Then they spend 8-9 hours working. Then they spend half an hour a day coming back home from work. And when they come home 6-7 o'clock, they're awake for 2 hours and they're dead again. So 80% of your day while you're fucking awake is about work. So you really want to waste 80% of your life? No? Well, let's do something that we create that value of fucking life. Because how old are you now?
43.
Do you want good news or bad news?
Tell me more. Good news.
Well, the good news is, you have a privilege to experience what life has to offer for 43 years, right? And, you gave it all and got an amazing business and you're smiling always. So you lived 43 years.
Yeah.
The bad news is half of your life is gone.
Very true.
So you got another, if you get to live till 86, chances of that happening is fucking 50-50, right? You don't know when we're going to die. So you're already dead, half dead, gone. So imagine somebody just cuts you in half. It's like, what the fuck? So, hey, buddy, what's left in front of you? Fucking use it with both hands, and we're only tourists on this planet. Not even AI can save us from dying.
True. Man, as you're leading a team, like part of that, and I struggle with this even leading our team, where do you draw a line between being too intense to work for and being inspirational to work with?
Look, I always dig deep to see, you know what, if you're going to work for me, what do you want? Where does your strength lie? What do you want out of fucking life? Do you want to treat work just as work? That's okay. We all have different talents. Some people want to earn, I don't know, $100,000 for the rest of their year and for the rest of their life and work 8 hours a day. And, but with me, where is that button that I need to push? It's like salespeople. First thing that I do, if I get to interview them, which, business is big now, too big in a way that I don't really get to interview many people. But the way I used to do it, I would sit across the table from somebody and I would try to piss salesperson off, try to make him angry. And to the point where they want to get up and start having a punch on with me, I was like, oh, fuck, I like you. You got fire in your belly. I want somebody who's got that. But if I say to you, Aaron, you'll never make it. And if you say to me, Emil, you're probably right. Maybe this is not for me. I was like, what the fuck? Defend your position.
That's all it took.
Fucking defend your position. Rip my fucking head off.
Yeah.
Rip my head off. Don't be a fucking pussy. Stand for yourself. Stand for your belief, what you believe that you're capable of doing. Then you go for it. Nobody can tell you you can't be the greatest. Like Muhammad Ali in his fucking game. You got to be one in yours. You know what I mean? So with me, it's like, fuck. I'm up for that fire. But as a business owner, it's interesting. When I was 20, I'm 46. When I was 20, with me, I feel like that generation, we were like hungry, we were working like bulldogs. And a lot of people say, hey, this new generation is softer. This new generation, they don't want to work as hard. They want to have work-life balance. So the way I used to lead or talk to those younger people, I would be like, fuck, I'm so angry. Why are they not thinking like me? Why are they not working like me? Blah, blah. Now I don't. Now I was like, okay, you're 22, I'm 46, different worlds. I'm going to learn how to think like you and go on your level. Well, do you want to work 5 hours? I'm like, okay, I understand. How can I get best out of you in those 5 hours? How can I get best? Because I have to go on their level. They'll never be on my level thinking, because maybe I'm old school, maybe I've been in a fucking business for too long and I'm a hard ass now and whatever. But I need to think like them. I need to see where they're coming from, because there's a world that they're living in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not the world that we used to live in, and I need to learn from them. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean I'm right, they're wrong. It's just like, hey, I need to understand why you want to work 5 hours a day, and if that's what I'm going to get, how can I get maximum out of it? So it's just...
Does that frustrate you though, when you can see people that have the potential and they're not tapping into that full potential, and you're just sitting there on your watch and you're like, it goes for anything in life, whether I saw you sign out there, health is wealth, right?
Yes.
For anyone trying to say they want to get fit, I'm like, well, you're not doing the work. You're eating a bad diet. You want to get rich, but you're not making moves. You want to grow your business, but you're not working hard enough. And like, talking is cheap sometimes. Where did I write this? I wrote this here. Information is cheap and implementation is rare. Like, I just hear it all the time. People say they want it, but they're not willing to put in the yards. And you're like, come on, like,
well, that's
get dialed in.
That's why it's always easier to watch UFC fight than to be in it.
Yeah.
I'm not a UFC fighter, but I'm a fighter in my game, business, right?
And it's a blood sport, your game. Yeah.
It's your game too.
Yeah.
Every game, every business is a blood sport.
Yeah.
Every profession is a blood sport, right? And the thing is, hardest thing in life to do, the hardest thing in life to do is to look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and start asking questions. Am I good? Be truth. Like people, I'm going to be successful, but then I'm going to be successful. Then look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to be successful. And then mirror will tell you, okay, what the fuck are you doing about it? I'm doing this. You can lie. Sometimes when you look at yourself in the mirror, all the answers come. Am I a good partner? If you're an asshole to your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, be truth. No, you're not. What the fuck you need to do about it? I want to be successful. What are you doing about it? Tell me fucking 2 steps that you're doing to be successful. Because everybody wants to jump from here to there, right? But price is hefty. Somebody said to me the other day, fuck, look at your cars. What do you do for a living? I was like, doesn't matter. He said, how long did it take you? I said, not long. He said, oh, really? How can you show me what's not long? I said, 30 years. I started working 7 days a week when I was 16. I'm 46 now. He started calculating. No. How can I do that? By the time age 25, I have no fucking idea. I don't know. But I'll give you a recipe how you're going to achieve it in 30.
You lost everything at 30.
Yeah.
That would derail people. And it's like, that's it. They're throwing in the towel and going separate. And you come back for more. Like, how much glass can you eat?
You would have to cut my fucking hands off, my legs off, and probably my head off for me to start fucking punching. You put me in a ring with anyone, and my ring is my business. I'll play a fair game, but I'll fucking come after you. That's just that. No successful person became successful without paying the price. And this is the price. You are one of the best in the country with what you do. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
You can be modest and say, results are fucking there to show, hey, you are on your A game. Great. But how many Saturday and Sundays in your career have you worked?
Every weekend.
Price to pay.
Great.
Nobody became successful without working the heart out. Nobody became successful without fucking up, without making mistake. And this is why. And I understand that. That's why I get up really easily. Easiest thing would be if we were born at age 95. 95 and start living backwards. Yeah. You already know everything. I fucked up here. I'm going to do things better. Imagine you starting everything you started with your knowledge today. You're like, fuck, you'd be probably even further.
10 years ahead.
Do you know what I mean? So, but when you're starting anything, it's like, fuck me, you're starting with no knowledge and you want to conquer the world. So it's like pushing, climbing the mountain and then fucking there's a hole here, a hole there. It's just learning curve. And with me, I knew the price I have to pay. Even today, everything, two of us can start any kind of business. There's no guarantees we're going to make it. We're going to give it a good fucking go.
Yeah.
And that's why, interesting, business is not for everyone. There's two type of business owners, I always say. There's a business owner that would just want to create business and become relatively good at it and maintain what they build. So they might be having 5 staff, 6 staff, or whatever it is. And then there are business owners that they want to be Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson. You know, Giselle and I always debate who is better. I always say Mike Tyson in his prime is better than Muhammad Ali. She said, no fucking way. She's got a picture of, I'll show you later, a picture of Muhammad Ali in her office. And but with me, like, I want to bring the best out of me. And for me to do that, I will be punched in my face. You think Muhammad Ali became Muhammad Ali because he never got punched in the face? You fucking see how many blue eyes he had. You know, you got punched in the face. And in business, if you want to be really successful and expect not to be knocked out, keep dreaming.
You're like, the attitude's like the Terminator. You're just going to get smashed and get back up again. I think that's business, where it doesn't matter how many times you get hit. You get back up again and you get back up again.
That's not business. That's life. That's life. We all get punched from, you know, there's no person that is even in this room. We got 3 amazing ladies that are watching 2 of us mumble here. and I can promise you, if we ask all 3 of them, have you had any pain in your life? There is no way they can tell me, my life was all fucking roses. You guys will be full of shit. Am I right or wrong? Including you, right? That's called life. But you know why I don't complain? With everything good, bad, and ugly, I chose this life. You didn't put a gun to my head and say, Emil, you gotta do what you do in business. I chose it. So everything that's hard, I say, Emil, shut the fuck up. Head down, bum up, keep digging. You chose this life. The fuck you gonna come? Nobody pushed you. You chose this. You want to be one of the best fucking finance guys in the country, buddy. You chose the life. When shit gets hard, I don't give a fuck. That's your problem, buddy. You chose the life you're living. Get over it. Find the solutions. Move the fuck on. Stop being a bitch.
There's a moment where sometimes, and you spoke about those 2 business owners, and this goes for anyone. It doesn't matter if they're growing a portfolio, growing a business, for example. There's going to be a moment where you could choose to keep it where it is, and it's a sweet spot. You probably had this in your business as well. It's a sweet spot where it is. And then the inner maniac in you goes, man, what if we just kept pushing a little bit more? And people around you going, dude, this is good. You've got the business to where it should be, for example. There's no need to go. It could be diminishing returns. It's a head case going forward with the business. At that point, how do you decide just to cross over? Like mentally, for people that are stuck there, just going, this is the best it'll get, to push through that. How do you then go, mate, the grass is greener on the other side?
Look, I always say, if you're not growing, you're dying.
But some people are happy with like plateauing.
Fucking let them plateau. Great for them. If that's what they love, what completes them to have that kind of life, do not chase what I'm chasing or what you're chasing, because you'll be miserable. Fuck, right? With me, I always like to push the button. That's the life that I've chosen. I love that. I love the growth. But there's no right and wrong. You got to do what completes you as a business owner, what you love. And some people, they love having a great business and work 5 hours a day and, you know, go home and still play whatever fucking checkers or whatever the fuck they want to do.
Watch maths, you know? Watch some rubbish on TV, mate.
Which episode are you up to?
I don't watch it. That's a problem.
It was good. It's like, but there's no right and wrong. You know, there's no right and wrong. With me, I'm always happy with where I am, but I love growing. I mean, think about this. Giselle and I had this discussion the other day. I was like, okay, what really more do we want?
That's one of my questions for you.
What more do we want? You know, it's not like some people have, my dream is to have 1 supercar. I have fucking 6. Not 1. 6 of them. I want to have a nice house. I got a fuck off house.
Right.
You know, I want to be able to go on a holiday. I go on any holiday I want, whatever comes to my mind. So with that doesn't, I want to have, no, with me, I love the game that I'm in. I love growing and I love scaling, and that's who I am as an individual in business. And I don't think I would be the one that can put a break and was like, okay, I would feel like I've lost my purpose, what I enjoy. And to me, this is a game, right? Some people see work as work. Nothing to me is work. Work to me is doing nothing, which with AI at the moment, it's impossible not to do anything.
Yeah. You said there's scale, right? So there's a difference in business where you can grow a business, but then to scale is completely different.
Yes.
How have you then grown and scaled? Because NGU, I mean, I love what it stands for. So if you're listening, go NGU Real Estate, never give up.
That's my smallest business.
Yeah, right.
And we got 16 offices. We obviously got online finance, property development, and other things. I don't, look, the thing is, I don't force anything. I'm opportunist. When I see opportunity, I go for it. I create strategy to execute, and I execute, and business grows. It's just like natural to me is to grow, and that is from one real estate office to 16, from property development from $0 to $500 million we have developed over past 20 odd years, to now moving heavily online in gyms and wellness places. I just see it as a game. It's like playing footy with your mates. This is the secret. My mentality. What sport did you play when you were 8 years old?
Cricket.
At what age did you start playing it?
5.
Let's look at 5. When you played cricket at age 5 with your mates, 0K in the world. You didn't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah.
But that happiness, playing cricket with soccer for me, playing soccer with my mates at age 5, no worry in the world, pure happiness. You still want to win.
Yeah.
Pure happiness, it's joy. That's my life now. In my head, I'm that 5 years old, playing soccer with my mates. That's how I see life now.
Unreal. There's an element of like, you're so carefree that it's like, man, even if shit breaks, you're going to be like, doesn't matter. Just it's moving forward.
Oh, buddy, the thing is, how many people do you personally know that died younger than what you are now?
Oh, heaps.
What makes you think that 2 of us won't die tomorrow?
There's no guarantee.
So what the fuck would I care when I know I'm going to be dead one day? Then I can care when I'm gone. I'm going to have heaps of time to worry about shit. Let's say you stress about whatever. Let's say your plane got delayed. What are you going to do about it? Stress, oh my fuck, I'm going to be late for the podcast. Who gives a fuck? We did 2 hours later. We did 2 weeks. Who cares? Why would stress or anything, is it going to make you happy? No. Is it going to get your problem to go away? No. Keep smiling. Resolve it.
Dude, I'm telling you, you're an energy guy, because I tell you, when we sat down for that dinner, I'm going to tell you what happened a year ago. I was in a bit of a funk. The business was it was good where it was. I came back after that dinner, and the team know there was a spring in my step. I'm like, I'm on from this point. That dinner changed me. I was like, I've seen what the other side looks like, and holy shit, that grass is green on the other side. I said, what am I doing? Like, just being lukewarm with my potential. Let's go hard. Our team is probably, I don't know, what's it, tripled in that time? I'm
just calculating if I had any influence on this. Where's me in here? I'm sending you a bill, okay? I know your business. I was like, there's like $2 million there for me.
I call it a success tax, right? I came there, I paid the success tax, and the world didn't look the same for me after that dinner, because
I love this. I tell you why. A lot of business owners, they have this negative block energy. When they see somebody doing well, they was like, fuck them. All my friends, I have one of my fucking amazing friends, he owns Mondrian Hotel on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, Christie-David. He's ex-mortgage broker.
Ex-mortgage broker, mortgage choice or whatever.
Correct.
But the guy's got billions of dollars under construction. Unbelievable operator. Yeah. $600-700 million Mondrian Hotel and residential tower. I know what he went through to get to where he is today. And that inspires me to see where he's now. That inspires me, motivates me. And I think I stay at his hotel more than every human possibly. And I see it as a second home. And every time I go there and I spend a lot of time with him and Letitia, and they're amazing friends over 20 years. When I come back home, I want to fucking run through the wall head first, even if it's concrete 1 meter thick. That inspires me, motivates me. But a lot of people, they're not like that. You know, it's like, oh, you know, he's doing really well. Yeah, but fuck him. You know, I was like, with me, that motivates me. So your attitude is how I think.
Yeah.
When I see my friends doing well, I was like, fuck, that's awesome. You know, hope you guys deserve 10 times more. But I'm going to fucking, you wake up that, I have fire in my belly, but now you just gave me, you know, like other day, I'm not going to mention the name of this friend. And he said, Emil, you know, I'm buying this private jet. It's like a fucking $60 million private jet. Great friend of mine. Let's go halves. Then I started calculating, you know, I was like, he said, there's this one we can buy secondhand for like $30 million. I'm starting to think, I was like, in my mind, yeah, I'm probably going to get a private jet, but I'm thinking like, you know, 10 years or 5 years or 20 years or whatever. But now I was like, he just woke up this fire. You know, I can actually even do it today, but it's not that impossible or whatever, you know, but he just like, I was like, okay, you know, I love people that are thinking fucking like you. You know what? That's same attitude.
Nah, mate, there's one thing that you mentioned on Instagram. It's like you said there was a dad that saw, maybe it was a Ferrari or Lambo, and the son, and he said to the son, hey man, this will be the closest you ever get to it. And the power of the words, I hear this all the time. I'm going to be very careful, one, how you talk to yourself and how you talk to your others. I've got 2 small daughters, and my job is to tell them the sky's the limit, right? And I heard you say that, and I was like, absolutely, man. You said it to your son, like you immediately just put him in a box. And so for listeners that are wondering where the story's going, you had your supercar out one day.
Yes.
A dad saw it. He's with his small son. And I think the small boy said, hey, can I have a look at your car or jump in it? And the dad said to the son, mate, this is the closest you'll ever get to it. Enjoy it. Yeah. And he said, no, like, don't ever talk to your kids that way. No. I was like, that's exactly how it is. Even with the team, like, you know, when bosses, you know, when you have employers talk to their team, you'll never earn that much. Or someone in your inner circle will say, you can't get past that many properties, for example. Like, who the hell are you to tell me what I can and can't do, even as a parent?
And you know what, to be honest, some people or some kids are very sensitive, right? They haven't seen the world the way we have seen it. They, you know, when somebody's, I don't know, 10 years old or 8 or 12. Some kids will be affected. They will be beaten by what somebody tells them. Oh, you can't have that. Then they might be stuck in their head and they can't fight that off. They would just believe I'm not capable, I wasn't born into rich money, I'm not smart enough or whatever. And that will hold them throughout their life. Some kids will be like, you know what, fuck you, Dad. Yeah. I'm gonna have it. but when I was probably one of those, you know what I mean? But a lot of kids, they do get affected. And I was like, man, when it comes to the kids, you know, every human around every child, you need to encourage them to do good things. If you and I were not capable to become pilots and your daughter wants to become one, well, who the fuck are we to tell her she can't become a pilot because we were 2 dumb fucks that we couldn't become ones? Shut the fuck up, you and me. You fucking go and fly. Dad became pilot in his own fucking field, and I love my field, but you can, no, not just fly. You can own your own fucking Virgin Airlines, whatever the fuck it is, you know, and people need to be encouraged, not discouraged, because every one of us is capable and talented in what we do. You know what I mean? Do you think you can edit this video?
You could.
But how good is going to look if you edit it and me compared to the ladies?
Oh, terrible.
Look like a horse's dick. They're more talented, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Would you say they're better than us?
Yeah.
What they do?
I know.
Fuck tenfold. Like me and you would be like fucking, you know, we would try to make ourselves sound good, but we'll look like shit. Like
Yeah.
now they're probably going to put some fucking Photoshop
filter.
on our head
Yeah,
and make
great.
us look good, and makeup and stuff. But, you know, everybody's talented. You just have to encourage people to bring the talent out.
One thing you said at dinner when we were sitting down, and I wrote this when we were at your place. You said, if you had a body to bury at 2 a.m, who could you call? And you're
Yes.
talking about the power of like this inner sanctum
Yes.
and friends that would go, you know, like you said, go through walls. And I knew at that point I was really, because you said if you had people you could write down their names,
Yes.
you're fortunate because you got friends that you can like
Yes.
that are absolutely dialed in. I told that to my friends. I was like, and I said, what would you say? They said, man, how big does the shovel need to be? No questions asked, right?
Yeah, but there's also two things.
Yeah,
So me and you can speak to, let's say we bring 10 friends in this room each,
yeah,
and we tell them the story. 10 out of 10 will say, I would be there. But if you really call them 2 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, bring your shovel, meet me here. And that person, including you, have 2 daughters at home. And knowing this motherfucker just called me, I might be burying somebody, might be fucking in jail because of him for 20 years. Would you do it? There's the question, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to say, yeah, I would do it. Okay, I will fucking call you 2 o'clock in the morning and see if you actually get up. So that 10, how many do you think would become then?
1 or 2.
That's the people you want in your corner.
I agree. What about a partner? How important? Because obviously, Giselle, you guys, you know, I've seen you
important
guys.
is
I've seen
partner?
your interaction. I was like, I got my wife. You know, she like you talk about going through brick walls. She's always had my back, and I think I see that a lot of financial friction, because obviously we do finance for couple, you know, families, and the financial friction that I see between couples. I'm like, why can't you just get aligned? Because I think for you, that's probably one less thing to worry about. There's massive alignment between you guys. I don't
think-
have that problem.
I
There's
think-
massive alignment. How do you?
I think what's important that you don't have to find a partner to be like you. You don't have to find a partner to have a business like you. I mean, Giselle and I, we in the business together. We all our lives next to each other in the offices. The key is find a partner that's going to support you, man or woman, whoever that is. That's all you want, and for them to be understanding that, hey, I love what I do. For you to be with me, you have to be understanding. And I have to be the same with you. Whatever you love, I'll fucking support you. Whatever you wanna do, I will back you up. But I think that alignment and understanding and not pushing to change somebody to be the way you want them to be is the key. You know, I need to love you for you. I mean, I sound gay now saying this, you know what I mean? But nothing wrong with that. But do you know what I mean? You got to find the good partner can bring the best out of you as a fucking individual, right? Support you, and that's all you can ask for.
Mate, I mean, I hear that, and I just think there's so many people that are just, I don't know, tolerating their partner, or they're not just getting the best out of each other, man. Like,
Move on with your life. Life is too short. You want to be miserable living with somebody for 30 fucking years? Kiss that person on the cheek and say, you were fucking amazing up to this point, but we want different things in life. Why waste it with each other when you here and I'm there? Why do that? You know what I mean? You got to be aligned, but you got to constantly keep investing while you're both growing, right? You know what I mean? Because everything in life is the growth. That's why there are some friends that I had when I was 18 that I don't have anymore. Either they outgrew me or I outgrow them. You know, different interests, different things, and so on. And same with your partner. Both of you have to be growing, not business-wise, or I make more money than you and this shit. Grow as a humans, as people. So the grow is like business. Growing business comes down to two things. You got to be careful how big you want to scale. You only want to scale that far as your tolerance for pressure can grow. Scaling your business and tolerance for handling pressure needs to scale at the same time. Otherwise, you'll fucking crack when it hurts the most.
Where do you find that pain threshold? Like, how does someone find it? Like, before it breaks? Like, you're on the cusp of growth, for example, and you know what, you got to push through
Yes.
a pain threshold. We're talking to people that want to grow portfolios. They treat that
Yes.
like a business. How do you push through to that pain threshold and you go, man, you will be the beneficiary like 30 years, like you, 30 years later.
Learn how to love pain. What I mean by that is, in business, when you're going from day 1 to day 1,000 or day 5,000 or whatever, 90% of the things that business people do is horse's shit. Or anybody's job. Full stop. 90% of the things. Learn how to love doing things you hate doing. And same is the pain. Because I understand what I'm in for. I understand the amount of fucking pain is ahead of me. And I'm like, fuck you, pain. Bring it on. I will eat you alive. Because I'm prepared for what's coming. It's like going into boxing ring. You don't go into boxing ring just, yeah, you are prepared to win. But for you to win, you know you're going to get punched. Few fucking times. I will also fucking be punching back and I will win.
You seem to have this ability to have more than 24 hours in a day, right? Because I'm seeing you, how are you stacking the time equation that you're winning time, whereas I feel like other people are pissing their time away?
Look, it's time is our biggest asset.
Absolutely.
That we have.
You see, you've lost money, you've got it back, right? You lose love, you can get back. Whatever it is, time is the one thing you cannot get back.
And so what do you do with your time every day matters. And that to me is, today is the day that we never lived before. When this day is gone, we are one day closer to ultimate destination, which is us being dead. I can't afford to waste this day. How can we afford to waste this day? I mean, we have one day, I was like, okay, let's waste it. Like, what, are you running to fucking die? Fuck you. I don't want to fucking run to die. I was like, fuck, how the fuck can I slow down my time? How can I get these 24 hours a day to feel like 2 fucking years? Because, buddy, 43, oh, you're half fucked.
I know.
43. Guess what? You cannot do shit like you were doing when you were 18. Go run against some 18 years old you. Yeah, I can run with him. Bull fucking shit. You know, you have to train 6,000 times harder than to run as fast as 18 years old Aaron. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so with me, I just value my time, and I just, you know what? I just know I'm gonna die one day, and that day, there's a catch. We don't know when that day is coming. A year, 2, 32. There's no. It would be easy if me and you know what, we're going to die age 90. Oh, fuck, we can fuck around a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we don't know when that will be. So, you know, with me I'll give you an example. There was a gentleman sent me text last June. He said, Emil, my wife, Kat, her name is, my wife, she's fighting this cancer. And we're not sure how much she's got to live. We created this GoFundMe page so we can just try to raise some money. Do you mind just sharing it on your Instagram because of my following, and some people can donate? And the way he described it, and then she texted me as well. I was like, I want to know more. And then she told me, and 36 years old, from Melbourne, beautiful family. She was a teacher. I said, fuck this. I'm going to go and be a little bit more active. I raised just over $60,000. And there's a good chance even you donated money, was posting it on Instagram and so on. I raised $60,000. That was about June last year. And hopefully that helped, so she can live forever. Unfortunately, January this year, she passed away. Age 36. And me and you got shit to complain? Fuck you, Aaron. Go and fuck you. You want to complain something? What the fuck are we to complain? 36, she died. We get to live. We got shit to complain. Go and fuck ourselves.
Does that come from a migrant mentality? Obviously, you came from Croatia. We grew up in a civil war. Sri Lanka never went back, for example. Does it have a little bit of that scrappiness to it? Like, does a little bit of comfort create that little bit of like no need for this hunger in the belly and this fire and passion if you've got like an easy, cushier life?
I mean, look, you got people that grew up, had a tough past and good past, and they're still good and bad, whichever way you're looking at it. I think, just at a certain point of my life that I just learned the value of life, you know what I mean? And any person to bring the best out of themselves with whatever they want to do, they need to understand the value of this life. They don't get that part, it's like, man, you will not live forever. Don't chase somebody else's dream, chase yours. What makes you happy, what completes you, that's what you're gonna be chasing. I mean, before you know it, it's like far out, man. We got given this life. It's my privilege to live. Man, you were the lucky fucking sperm buddy.
Oh, mate, don't. I mean, right now we're talking, we could be bloody living in Iran or the Middle East, right? So it's never lost on me.
And you know what? Wherever you are living, if anybody is watching this podcast from any country around the world, you don't have to look for excuse. You know what? I'm suffering because I'm born in this country. Or I'm suffering because I'm born here. Or I'm suffering because of, you know what? Me and you can talk about 2,000 excuses. If you are living in Croatia, Bosnia, Sri Lanka, Africa, Australia, make the best out of this situation with where you are. You know what I mean? You might not have opportunities in some countries like you have them in this amazing place we call Australia, but fuck me. If you are where you are, either you hate it, try to get out of it, or if you can't, we'll make the best life that you possibly can wherever the fuck you are. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big believer in excuses. Where does it get anybody?
I agree. So if you look at all the talent attributes of people, discipline, accountable, highly driven, grit, resilience, for example, all these keywords, consistency. What would you say there's one attribute that you just go, this is what you've seen high performers in your team, in your circle, in One Life Club, people that you hang around with. This is probably the one thing that separates the top 0.001%ers in this industry or this world from those that say they want it, but talk is cheap.
Discipline.
Discipline's your go-to.
You can be fucking hungriest person in the world, but all over place, fucking clumsy, and you might be good at this, but terrible at this. And discipline. I mean, look, motivation can get you so far. Let's face it, two of us, we are not motivated to get up at 5 o'clock every day and train and have an ice bath and go to work. Sometimes you just want to fuck around, sleep in, fucking cuddle your dogs like me or my wife, and what I mean? Discipline is what gets me up. Not motivation, because no person is motivated every day to get up and go to gym and, you exercise, right? You go to the gym. How many days a week?
4, 5.
But sometimes it's like, can't be fucked to go to gym or whatever.
Yeah. And
you say that for 20 days in a row, then that habit is gone, and then you're back into not being fit like you are today. So discipline is what gives you the edge, what gives you, vision and clear ability to go and hunt. Discipline, I always say to people, yes, you need to be hungry, you need to be motivated, you need to have that fire in your belly, you need to have that crazy mental fucking state of mind that you want to conquer the world. Yeah, all that is fine. Discipline is what's going to get you there.
So can someone cultivate becoming disciplined, or is it, hey, look, this is something that's inside?
Anybody can. Going back to that fucking kid.
Cool.
Going back to that kid. Who the fuck are we to tell him he can't be disciplined? He can, or she can. Or do you know what I mean? Start of this conversation, I said to you, the hardest thing to do in life is look at yourself in the mirror. Mirror doesn't lie. It's like when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can't say I'm as good looking as, I don't know, Brad Pitt in his fucking prime or whatever. You see what you fucking see. Yeah. And then whatever you ask yourself, answers are coming. Truth is coming out of that mirror. You just have to be able to take what mirror is fucking telling you back. Am I disciplined? Mira will say to you, well, you fucking wake up every day 9:30 in the morning. You were partying every day before that. That's not discipline, buddy. Wake the fuck up. Or you can say, oh, you know what? You can't lie to yourself. You can lie to others. To yourself, hurts the most.
So you got this fire in your belly around, hey, we've got this one life, mate, maximize it, grab it with both hands, for example. Is that the philosophy behind, say, One Life Club? So again, if you're listening, you've kicked off One Life Club with Simon Beard, ex-Culture Kings, for example. I love what you guys are doing there as well. Is that the philosophy behind One Life?
When I was, when thinking about the name, One Life, he was like, man, I believe if every individual really, really can understand the value of one life, we don't have another one, things will be different. Because, when you're 20, you think you're going to live till 2,000 years old. Like when you're 16 years old and that guy's 43, you're like, fuck, he's might as well be dead. Do you know what I mean?
I have a team of 20-something-year-olds. They think I'm an old bastard,
and now I'm thinking like you're fucking young, I'm 46, you're 43, and then we'll talk to somebody who's 65. I always say every individual needs and must find somebody who's 90 years old. Sit with that person, buy them a cup of coffee or tea, and say to them, I have one question for you. How fast did life go by? No 90 years old will say to you, it took me forever to get here. And they're all going to say, it went fucking in blink of an eye. And guess what? When you're 90 years old, you're excited to see sun every fucking day. So it's people take shit for granted, man. It's life is beautiful with whatever you're doing, and somebody can say, hey, but it's easy for you to say you drove Ferrari today to the office. Yeah, my first car was fucking Toyota Corolla. Before that was a bicycle. It was a second-hand Toyota Corolla. So it's you gotta enjoy journey. And before you know it, man, two of us, if you get to live till 80, 90, like, hey, remember that podcast 45 fucking years ago? There'll be probably 6 fucking robots around us while we're talking or whatever. But man, the time is just biggest commodity.
It is. Yeah, you mentioned around AI, and I'm very curious that when you were out there before and you got your bots going to work, for example, how much are you seeing? Because you are in a high touch sales environment, right? Real estate, property development, that's a high touch people business. I look at emotional intelligence, I look at human intelligence.
It's gone.
Why do you say it's gone?
If this episode has got you thinking about taking the next step and building a property portfolio, we'd love to have a chat, and you can book in a strategy session call with our team. Check out ateliawealth.com.au. Thanks very much for listening to our podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, or follow on whatever platform you're listening to as well, so this episode comes straight to you. We release a new episode every Monday morning at 7. We'll talk to you soon.